Okay, we're going to have a little conversation here, but first what we're going to do is ask each of you to just give us a little, background on where you went to high school, first your name, where you went to high school, where you're going to college, and a little capsule of what your career goals are. Would you like to start?
My name is Kathy Eggison. I'm from the UP. My hometown is Berga.
Oops, a little feedback.
I am attending Michigan Technological University, and I'm hoping to get a job in supply chain management.
Okay.
My name is Andrew Sierra. I'm from Flint, Michigan. I go to Kettering University. I went to Kersley High School. I'd like to go into technical sales or engineering management when I graduate.
Good morning, my name is Eric McCormick. I'm from Livonia. I go to school at Central Michigan University in Mount Pleasant, and my degree is in information systems.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Heather Waldron. I'm originally from the Petoskey area, and I now go to school at Albion College. I'm double majoring in biology and economics and management with an emphasis in finance, and I would eventually like to work in finance, particularly in the healthcare industry.
Hi, my name is Elise Weedy. I'm from Perry, Michigan, so not too far from here. I currently go to Saginaw Valley State University, majoring in communication with a management minor, looking at higher education in the future.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Paige Nairns. I'm a senior at Albion College, majoring in English with a concentration in public policy. And I'm actually originally from northeastern Pennsylvania, Kingston.
Okay, so let's start with how's the job search going? A lot of you are getting ready to graduate. Anybody have any stories to tell about success or where you are in the job search stage? Okay.
I think that obviously we got a little bit of help from the economic summit.
They progress. They had interviews on the spot.
So I think many of us had a pretty successful time after that. I think coming into it, a lot of people experienced troubles as far as, like the stories that the governors spoke about, distributing resumes and not doing much of that. But the course of our job search has kind of changed a little bit in the recent past. So.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, well, let's go back even before the job summit last month. Along the way, you all had a very specific idea of what you would like to pursue in terms of a career or a field that you'd like to work in. How did you reach that decision? What were the factors that influenced you to pick that field of study or that field to pursue? Looks like, let's see, Paige, you look like you're ready to answer that.
It was definitely my experience at Albion. When I first came to Albion from Pennsylvania, I had no idea that I would want to stay in Michigan after my 4 years. But during my 4 years at Albion, I've definitely fallen in love with the state of Michigan, and now I'm very passionate about staying in Michigan. My career path has changed quite a bit. I came into school wanting to be a lawyer, and now I'm interested in fundraising and development. And that was definitely thanks to the internships that I had the opportunity to take advantage of law at Albion. It helped me realize that law wasn't the path for me and that fundraising was.
Anybody else?
Yeah, so I'm currently interested in going into finance, particularly in the healthcare industry. And when I came into school, I thought I was going to be interested, and I wanted to go pre-vet. And I'll tell you, probably 50% of the freshmen are pre-med of some sort. And, Paige, you said you wanted to be a lawyer. I think we do go back to you're only exposed to so many careers in high school, lawyer, pre-med, those kind of things. And once you get in your coursework, you meet professionals, you network, you learn about all the other opportunities there are for you in college. And that really helped me make my decision.
Anybody else?
I definitely agree with that. I entered school admitted to the nursing program and now communication and management. That's definitely different, but I think it's the people that we've met at our universities and definitely the internships and exposures that we've had that really helps shape kind of the passions that we go forward from.
I also started out wanting to go into nursing, but then I went to Michigan Tech, and I feel like I got really involved in the math part. And it was actually one of my teachers that got me really excited about changing my coursework to operations and systems, using the math and being able to help a company out and to be really valuable to them. It was the teachers that got me really excited about pursuing that degree.
So you're in favor of, at the high school level, taking as much math as we currently have in the state of Michigan? Is that it? Is that it?
For me, I kind of made my decision of where I wanted to go to school and where I wanted my profession to be in high school as well. I'm actually from a family of educators, from elementary school all the way through the collegiate level, and for so many teachers to be output from my family and then me go into engineering, I think it was kind of a shock for me. I mean, from all of the math and science that I had in high school, I like to pair that with my creativity, and I felt like a lot of my high school teachers pushed me towards that way. I think really Michigan is the place for engineers and technical jobs like that, so it's worked out well.
Okay, so now thinking back to even junior high, I mean, what I've heard so far is you're saying you didn't really know some of these careers existed. I mean, some of you are in fields now that you only recently heard about or learned of. So you have a bunch of educators in this room. If you had some advice for these folks who are running K-12 schools, what would that advice be?
I would say definitely, we all mentioned internships. They're a huge deal, and I had no idea what a big deal an internship was until I got into college. So when you're in the classroom, when kids are in high school, if you start talking about internships and externships and on-the-job experience, and kids start realizing how important they are, then they'll go to the colleges and they'll ask questions about internships. And then those colleges will be forced to then tap into their alumni network even more and provide more networking opportunities and more internships, which really give us the experience we need to be competitive in the workforce.
Anybody else on that point of what advice might you have for the educators in the room?
I know one of the things that I found most enjoyable when I was going through the K-12 experience was teachers were able to take whatever material they had and construct the area with it that made me want to be involved and participate in what they're talking about and teaching about. And I think Michigan's great because we have so many experts and great communicators here. And I don't think I've had very many bad teachers in my experience. I've just had people who can't communicate sometimes about what they're going through with. And that was definitely what made me go on to my major, and hopefully my success is because people were able to make those stories that connected with what I was going through to the material they were teaching.
Have any of you ever done job shadowing or any kind of job experience while you were in high school or junior high? Yes?
In high school, as a part of our senior project, we were required to do some sort of job shadowing, but that was only like a one-day experience.
What did you do? Do you remember?
I went to the actually Environmental Protection Agency. I knew a person from martial arts that I happened to tag along with, who actually was doing electrical engineering there as well. So it did follow along with my career path, but I know that a lot of my fellow students and classmates went to careers that they ended up not having anything to do with after graduating.
So none of you really had any, oh, you did, okay.
We have a nursing program through another school, so I was able to get my CNA training, which is why I originally wanted to start out in nursing, because that was really the only thing I was exposed to being able to pick a career. So we have that, but that's one of the only options we have at my high school is to do the CNA training.
Okay. How about a particular person, if anybody could describe somebody who was important to you in guiding you to where you are in terms of your career? Was it someone in education? Was it someone in some other connection that you had? Who's been influential to you in terms of shaping this career aspiration that you have? Paige?
Well, being interested in fundraising and development is actually pretty new for me in the past year, but that came from a lot of work that I did on Albion's campus. I was involved in a lot of phonathons and very involved in Student Alumni Association. And so, again, I didn't even think of fundraising as a career per se. So it was just something that I did for fun, that I did on campus. And so definitely everyone in the institutional advancement office at Albion, when I figured out that I wanted to go into fundraising development, I just sent out a mass email to everyone that I'd been involved with and asked if I could just speak with them about what it's like to go into fundraising as a career. And I actually, 5 or 6 of them responded, and I spoke with all of them. and it really helped me see what it was like to go into that field. And I actually ended up getting an internship on campus because of that, and I'm currently a fundraising intern in the IA office, so that was great.
Anybody else have a story to share?
I was able to make some really good connections with a lot of the faculty and staff at SVSU, and so just the professors that I came in contact with were really willing to help and kind of develop with me what my interests and passions were, and just kind of give me the exposure and just information, really, about what kind of things were available. Because when I switched majors, communication management sounds so broad at times, but just getting to know different people within student affairs and then different professors has really helped kind of shape and kind of give direction to what I want to do, or what I think I want to do.
Anybody else?
I think going through high school, one program that my high school had was, they called Global Education. It took English and social studies together to combine in this like 12-hour block. And going through the weird transition period like high school, it was nice having kind of a community there together. And the skills that they taught, whether in English and being more involved as a citizen, was something that no matter how my major changed, kept along with me and made sure that I was someone who was easily talked to, easily someone who could be able to talk about a situation or something going on and speak with some clarity and dignity about it.
Anybody else on that question? Okay, now, in closing, what I want to ask is, talk a little bit about your K-12 experience and the idea, perhaps, that there should be more opportunities and more exposure to all these different kinds of careers, rather than leaving it almost to chance. How about at the college level? When you think of your own experience these last few years, is there something that you wish that, or something that you either experienced or something you wish you had had access to, or an idea that you have for how other people, you guys all were a part of that job summit, you're good. So you've got those resumes out, and I think a few people have actually landed jobs already. So, but think to your own institutions, what would you like to see? Anybody?
Maybe more collaboration between high schools in the area and the university. When I was a freshman and sophomore in high school, I was able to come to MSU as part of the CHAMPS program and take 4 years of high school math and 2 college years. And that exposure to the university setting at an early age was really, really helpful bridging that transition once I graduated from high school, entering college. I do a lot of work in the first year programs office at SVSU, and so seeing a lot of high school students who not only come in without much information about the kind of careers that are out there, but just some lack of skills in the preparation to sit through, maybe a 4-hour evening lecture, or just different things that could be helped as far as that transition. And I think that exposure just to the university setting from K-12 would be helpful, along with maybe more career.
So you actually are talking about some kind of peer-to-peer almost. I mean, you're older, but you could actually be at a student-to-student level. The older student and the younger students, as well as more formal. Okay. Paige?
I cannot stress enough how important my internship experiences were to me deciding to stay in Michigan. I'm actually currently interning at the probate court in Lansing, and just being in that environment and being in the workforce in Michigan really made me see how amazing and dedicated the people are. Also, I would say an encouragement in community involvement. I've been really involved with the Albion community, and Governor Schneider talked about that the main asset that Michigan has is people, and being involved in the Albion community showed me that there are dedicated people in the state of Michigan, and I want to be a part of that, and so that's ultimately why I'm staying in Michigan to start my career.
Heather, how about you? What advice would you have?
I would love to add. So I think in college they've done a wonderful job of teaching us teamwork and communication. The communication is nice as I'm sitting in front of you guys all today. And but one thing that I think was definitely missing is the networking piece of it. I've been looking for internships for the summer since I'm a junior, and I really learned how huge networking is. It is amazingly hard to be able to put in a cold application online and get any response back. We heard earlier about stories where you send out 50 resumes and you don't hear any. So I would have loved to have seen colleges bring in more employers, have more, even how to network. The first summit, the Talent Summit, was where I learned a lot about networking. And it would have been great to have some of that experience early on and meet people so that when I went to do my internship search and my job search, that I had those connections made.
Eric, how about you?
If I could think of something, I think it would be that although internships are such a critical part, that they shouldn't take the place of education that should be happening at the college level. And I think that can end up being something where it is a transition period that's become part of a process where it's now from the college to the internship to the job. And I always thought that going to college was supposed to be where I did learn all these skills and critical mindsets that I can go and I can apply to any field that I want to get into, and not have this new level that goes with it. I think it's an important part of it, but I don't think that it should be necessarily a critical part, that we should already have all the bases covered, that any college graduate coming out could be able to apply to that job.
Andrew, would you like to?
Sure. I think for me, it's really about developing the pipeline from early education all the way through landing your career job. Basically, we have to make sure that we're educating the young students about the different jobs that are available from high school to college, making sure that there's a partnership and what things are necessary for you in order to be successful in college. And then colleges making partnerships with the actual private sector so that they can go in. And one thing that I've been really appreciative of at Kettering is the fact that we have our co-op program. So I interned for 3 months, go to school for 3 months back and forth. That's been very successful for me in finding a job after graduation, and I think that type of a partnership is really key to making sure that we're following the right steps on our path to graduation.
How about Jeffrey?
Sure. To add on to what everybody else has said, another thing that I think would be very important is for when recruiters are going to school, don't just go to the schools for the main thing. So Michigan Tech is a huge engineering school. Well, there's a whole bunch of other degrees too, like mine is operations and system management. Well, it has the same accreditation as Harvard, but recruiters don't realize that. So we're not able to make that networking at our school because the recruiters don't come for us. They only come for the engineering students. So I really feel like with the networking at colleges that it should broaden up to looking at the other majors at the different schools. So we definitely network.
I have one last question, and it's open-ended for whoever would like to respond. A lot of times in education, it's particularly in higher ed, the higher ed community says, well, really, let's not go too overboard on training people for specific careers. Let's make sure that everybody has a well-rounded liberal arts, general education, and they'll be prepared for a lifetime of learning opportunities and all different kinds of careers, because you may go from one thing to another. How does that fit with you? How do you feel about that right now, where you are right now? Do you think there's two sides of the coin? Having more preparation for the specific career, or having the general liberal arts education? Anybody want to respond to that?
I think that both sides are definitely important, but I also believe that it's the experiences you have outside of the classroom that really help with it. And so I've enjoyed the more broad liberal arts, kind of being able to format my learning to fit my strengths, and then with groups and organizations and internships kind of build around that, what I'm interested in, and helping or having those experiences help shape what I want to do in the future.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I would love to add. So both sides are extremely important. I go to Albion College, which is a small liberal arts school, and I'm a double major in biology and finance. I mean, you can't get any more diverse than that. So you really see the whole well-rounded, I can walk into a lot of different positions with such a degree. But then in my internship, I can really streamline it and get more directed experience.
All right, I just want to thank the students for sharing again with this audience the real-world experience. You all have such poise and experience, and I'm so glad you were part of this summit, both last month and this month. You have done your schools very proud. Thank you.